Crying shame. Hello everybody, my name is Ostentatious24 and welcome back to another Pokemon update video thing. I can't think of the right words. I mean, it was just inevitable. At the end of the day, it was inevitable because frickin' Nintendo. I really can't think of any words. Yes. Is that Pokemon Day? Or they're gonna kill it on Pokemon Day? It's been confirmed that will no longer. It's confirmed that Pokemon Bank will no longer be active after February 26, 2027 at 3 o'clock UTC. I don't know what that is. With this, I don't know what time zone that is. Guess I'll have to figure that out. I can never remember. PST is Pacific Standard Time. CST is Central Standard Time. I can't think of any of the other ones. You'll be unable to deposit or withdraw any Pokemon to it, and you'll be unable to send Pokemon from Bank to Pokemon Home after this date. You wonder. I won't rag on it too much. I don't want to. It's not the vibes I want to give out. It's just not, but it's just. This sucks too. And there's so many ways this could have been avoided. There's so many. This is worse. For those that don't know, us Gen 1 and Gen 2er people. I'm from 2. Hello, hi there. Silver Crystal, those were my starting games. But for those that don't know, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. But that was due to the limitations and just the hardware of the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Color games and Game Boy games. You couldn't transfer from Gen 1 and 2, Red, Blue, Green, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, to Gen 3, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire, Red, Leaf, Green, these two, because of just how they were designed. And to be fair, the company didn't know, Game Freak, creators of Pokemon and all of them that worked on Pokemon Gens 1 and 2, they had no idea Pokemon would survive even past Gen 1. So that they went and worked on Gen 2 and made it, and then Pokemon just boom, exploded off to the races and is one of the most memorable franchises on the planet. The most marketed, most merchandisable franchises on the planet. She's just gonna walk over. Okay, I didn't know if she'd start. She just came sprinting down the stairs. Oh, he's on the mic. He's talking. I gotta bug him. But yeah, it's. What was I saying? Right. So yeah, there was already a cutoff, and people weren't able to transfer from those old games to new ones. Maybe Gen 1 and 2 are cursed because they re-released them on the 3DS. But no. There was so many ways you could have avoided this, Nintendo. And I hope some brilliant fan, whether they're watching my video or if someone else is making a similar video or they come up with this idea themselves, especially because there's a fan-made Dream World being worked on. I'm so sorry. I haven't been able to get on it because it's weird and I haven't been able to connect to the Discord and just it's not playing nice with me. I don't know, because there's a wall to make it safe for everyone, right? You know, child friendly kinds of things, and I can't get on it because I'm an idiot with Discord. I barely know it. I don't know how it functions well. I'm feeling bad, and I've been meaning to cover the fan-made re-release of the Pokemon Dream World, and I haven't been able to, and I'm sorry about that. But yeah, if some fan out there has the brilliant idea and know-how to back the bank up and save it and work on it, make a fan-made Pokemon Bank project, they would be the most brilliant person in the world. Because this is just unfortunate on so many levels. This is so much more of an impact from between Gens 2 and 3 back in the day. This is such a major impact because it cuts off literally all Pokemon games from the past. Every single one. Including the aforementioned Gen 1 and 2. This cuts off, well, not Fire Red and Leaf Green, obviously. Even though they're still a little highly priced, in my opinion, but whatever. If you get them on sale, then it's okay, I suppose. But Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Although I've been getting notifications on YouTube, recommended videos, being like, news of, there's leaks of Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald coming to the eShop. Ooh. I'm like, thanks, cool. I didn't want that information, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either. It's honestly weird that they did Fire Red Leaf Green before the Ruby Sapphire and Emerald, but whatever. They should have done that after Ruby Sapphire Emerald, but whatever. You do you, Game Freak and Nintendo, I guess. But yeah, it's Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. We got Gen 4, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, the Johto remix, Gen 2 remix, are included in Gen 4. Black, White, Black 2, White 2. And now with the Dream World being brought back, can't transfer from the Dream World to the Switch anymore. The Dream Radar had exclusive stuff and special Pokemon, Lugia with special moves. I'm playing Colosseum and Gale of Darkness relatively soon. If I want to transfer from those games to the Switch, I have to do that relatively soon. And it is possible to transfer from emulation, of which you wonder why people emulate. You put them behind $50 price tags on the stupid Nintendo Switch Online instead of putting them at reasonable prices, $10 to $20. These GameCube games, they should be 10 or lower, frankly. The Game Boy Advance ones should be 10 or lower, frankly. They've just made so many bad business decisions, so many bad ones. But you wonder why, Nintendo and Game Freak. You wonder why people emulate your games. Because you make such bad decisions. Where was I? Sorry about that. Dream Radar. There's exclusive moves, I think, on certain legendaries, and that was the first time the Therian forms of... No, not Therian. Yeah, Therian. The incarnate forms are the genie-like forms. There was, that was the first time we got the Therian forms of Landorus, Tornadus, and Thundurus. Then you transfer them to Gen 5, and you get the mirror that allows them to do that in the games. Woo, yay, so exciting. And then, yeah, there's Colosseum and Gale of Darkness, where you have specific Pokemon that are not going to be obtainable anymore. I'm not sure exactly on Colosseum. There was a Jirachi, but that might have only been with pre-orders or something. I can't remember. And you can't transfer the Shadow Lugia specifically, because unfortunately, before it comes out of Gale of Darkness, it needs to be purified. So you can't transfer that specific, which is unfortunate because it's such a badass model, right? But when you do purify it, it gives you exclusive moves. It gives you a Lugia with Feather Dance. I don't think it can normally. All four of them are original. I think moves that Lugia can't normally learn. But the biggest one is it can learn Deoxys' signature move, Psycho Boost. That's one of its move sets, and you can't get a Lugia with that anymore after February. I mean, well, technically, a wink, wink. You can't at the moment, anyways, unless you emulate. Wink, wink, wank, wonk, nudge, nudge. Right? Yes? No? I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Typically, I like to beat around the bush because I just don't want to cause bad blood with me and Nintendo. But like, at the moment, I don't care. At this moment, I don't. And I mean, if emulation's not your thing, I understand that. I've mentioned that before. But to be fair, Nintendo themselves emulates. That's what the 3DS, Wii U, Switch, eShop games, virtual console games basically are. WiiWare games were that back in the day. Nintendo Switch Online, it's emulation. It's all emulated ROMs and all that stuff made by Nintendo themselves. They just don't like the competition is why they don't like. Because, you get it for free rather than buying their things. And I will say that if a game is on a console that's like over a decade ago, 2 console generations ago, like the 3DS and Wii U, I'd say that's probably a more safe cutoff point at this point, especially now with 3DS and Wii U dead, right? That's probably the more safer cutoff point. Like I wouldn't emulate any Switch or Switch 2 games. As poor as I am, I'm still going to be respectful and actually buy the games for the newest consoles. I'm still, because on one hand, because I do want to be respectful to the people that worked hard and made these games, and on the other hand, I like to have the physical copies. I like to hold them in my hands. I like to put them on shelves and look at, especially after I've beaten them. I did that thing. Add it to the collection, the library. It's neat. It's hard to describe. Just this feeling of holding something in your hands. It's like, that's why I like to get physical whenever I can still, even though everything's on PCs nowadays. But yeah. It sucks. It really does. And yeah. Anyways, yes. Point being, emulation. I'm not adverse to it to an extent, but at the same time, I completely agree. I completely not agree. Well, I completely understand if people don't like emulation because just whatever. Even though. Etc. Even though you're buying it from Amazon or eBay and you're getting older games, right? Third, second, fifth hand, right? And at that point, they're not getting the money. The scalpers get the money. Honestly, Nintendo should be fighting scalpers rather than emulating people. But yeah, and then the emulation sites themselves, they don't make money off of giving you these games. Outside of ads and if you happen to donate to the said sites. That's the only time they really do. Well, unless they are really greedy. And then, yeah, I'm not going to support that website. I'm all about preservation, especially as an artist and a gamer. I'm all about keeping things available for anyone to play. And that's, yeah, this cuts off more than half the franchise. Like, let's see. Okay, I cut myself off. Let's see. We got Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald 3, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum 6, Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver 7, or 8. God damn it. Black and White 10, even 10. All right, start counting on my fingers. Black 2 and White 2, X, Y 14. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire 16. Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, that's 20. And then we have the re-releases. Yay! Red, blue, green, yellow. Yes, green was, only for Japanese players, but it technically was available. That's 24. Gold and silver and crystal, 27 games. 27 games. How many are on the Switch? Fire Red, Leaf Green, Sword, Shield. I'm not going to count the DLCs, even though technically, in quotes, they're supposed to count as the third games. Yellow, Crystal, Emerald, etc. Fire Red, Leaf Green, Sword, Shield. Legends Arceus, Legends ZA, Brilliant Diamond, Brilliant Shining Pearl, bleh. Scarlet Violet, that's 10. Is that it? 10 versus 27. That's almost 3 times. That's... I don't know the actual percentage of this. Well, okay, hold on. God, it's been so long since I mathed. It'd be 10 divided by 37. Because that's the whole total, right? It's 27. Be 27%. 27. And this isn't counting spin-offs either. Again, like Colosseum, Gale of Darkness, or the Rangers games, which are also technically, you can transfer certain Pokemon between them. So yeah. 72%. 73% if we round up. 73% of their games are not available to people anymore. 73% of their games can no longer be played and transferred to modern games. And this would all go away, obviously, if they make them available, but, like, they didn't have to do this. They really didn't have to. And there are so many ways that they could have avoided this situation. I mentioned it before. The other consoles in the console wars, they've had cloud saves for, like, well over 2 decades. PlayStation 3 had backwards compatibility with the PS2. And then that's also, I think, when they started the Play Store, right? Of which everything is saved to the cloud. I'm not well-versed on the PlayStation, sorry if I'm not giving. I'm just assuming because of how similar it probably is to the Xbox store, which I am more adverse to. I got the 360 from... My dad got me a Halo Reach bundle one. For Christmas or something. I got the one myself, and yeah, everything's saved to my profile. Everything's saved to my Xbox gamer profile. Everything I had on the 360, my save files for games, if I had them physical or digital, and I bought Xbox Gold just once for a year, because it was on sale or something, or I got free or something to that effect. I don't know. I'm not paying a full $60 for that nonsense. But within that time, I got a bunch of free games. And after that expired, I was allowed to keep some of those games. I was allowed to keep Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, Stuntman Ignition, just to name a couple. There's a few others, but... And yeah, I got games on my 360 that are saved on the Xbox One. Some of them. Obviously, not all of them were backwards transferable, but some of them were. And then I'm pretty sure the Xbox Series X is the same way. You're allowed to play any game that's been saved to your gamer profile library. And PlayStation, same thing. Steam and Epic Game Store, being PC, you'd hope they'd have cloud saves. To be fair, some games aren't. Peggle doesn't have backwards save, but PopCap's weird. Peggle and Wizard's Pen don't have cloud saves, but Plants vs. Zombies, now that's got cloud saving. Whatever, PopCap. Sure, on Steam. When did the Xbox 360 release? or Xbox One. I'll go light. When did Xbox One come out? 2013. It's been over a decade. 13 years. Almost. As of November, it'll be 13 years. When did PS... Xbox is so weird with their naming schemes. Was PS4 competing with the one? Yes, PS4 was. November 2013. So yeah, over 13 years at the bare minimum. Even though I'm pretty sure they had cloud saving on the 360 and the PS3. Maybe not as well, whatever, but it existed to some degree. But yeah, like, this is something that's been in the gaming communities and companies for years. And Nintendo has had Nintendo ID available since the 3DS and Wii U era. When did 3DS come out? 2011! They did it before. They had... I mean, I did have my gamer profile on the 360, which was transferable to the one. But like, before the Xbox One came out, they've had Nintendo ID. There is no reason that they couldn't put Bank on the Nintendo Switch. There's no reason that they couldn't save Nintendo Bank or any of those games on your Nintendo ID. And then they're backwards. You can transfer the games, you can transfer your save files to the Switch one, and then by extent the Switch 2 now. When their competitors have done this for years. There's no reason this needs to be a problem. Killing 73% of their games, and I know it's me just complaining at this point because it feels just disgusting and wrong. But at the same time, yes, I mean, everyone knew this was going to happen eventually, but at the same time, it's like, I'm back, I'm juggling this. And I guess it's kind of my message to, well, also for, if you got Pokemon in the older games, you better transfer them now. But also to anyone that's listening, make a Pokemon Bank that is connectable to the Nintendo Switch. I'm sure it'd be possible. It'd probably be really difficult, but I'm sure it's possible. And like, if Nintendo doesn't want to do it, then the fans will do it. Like, if they have anything to say about it, that's on them. This doesn't need to happen. There were ways to avoid this. There were so many ways they could have avoided this. Either allowing for the games to be saved from the 3DS and Wii U era, sure, then you're still losing a lot of the older games, the DS era, the Game Boy Advance era. That's still a good chunk of games, but like, they could have still done so much to avoid this problem. It doesn't need to happen. They didn't even need Home to exist. Bank has plenty of storage, and it does nothing different from Home. Home does nothing different from Bank. I said that kind of backwards. My apologies. Home is a glorified Pokemon Bank. It holds, 10,000 storage? Bank holds 100 boxes. Each holds 30 Pokemon. 32? 30. 30. I think 30. 30 times 100. That's 3,000. There's not even that many. Even if you shiny hunted, you're only taking up 2/3. If you have a complete shiny live dex, you only have. To be fair, I'm not counting like gender differences like with Venusaur or Meganium, right? If they're really, truly uber shiny hunters. Or like, if you have ones for different forms, the Burmy line, Wormadam, different cast forms, etc. Or, well, cast form... Is cast form permanent? No, it's not. The Rotom forms, though. That's probably where my mind was going. The Rotom forms can be permanent. setting those aside, in terms of species, I guess I'm not counting the regional variants either. Okay, my apologies. But even then, I still highly doubt you would fill up all a Pokemon bank in that case. Even if you happen to have a complete live dex of the base Pokemon and then a complete shiny live dex, I still don't think you'd hit that 3,000 marker. It might be a little close, but I still don't think so. And, like, home doesn't really do anything different outside of the bigger space. And that's nice, but it's not really worth the price tag home has either. It's just there. It's just. It just doesn't need to happen. And it's killing a good chunk of their franchise and fan base, and it's gonna push more people to emulate and stuff. This is gonna be the nail in the coffin that pushes your fan base to leave you, Nintendo. At least it's so, yeah. Hold on, I haven't read this yet. As previously announced, Pokemon deposited from Fire Island into home will not be able to return. So it's like ZA or Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee situation. Sucks, but I guess whatever. It was the same with Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow, and Gold, Silver, Crystal on the 3DS. It's fine. It's older hardware. It's emulation, whatever. The depositing is done by box, and boxes contain Pokemon with HMs or eggs cannot be sent. Why HMs? That's weird. Eggs make sense. You've never been able to move eggs into... I think you can into home from Swish and SV. Can you? I don't know. In addition to special gift, if you complete the Pokedex of Fire Relief, you will get a gift of a Celebi. That better be shiny. Don't just say it's a Celebi. If you're just getting a boring-ass Celebi for completing the dex, that's not cool. Especially since you're killing Bank, and the Crystal re-release allowed you to catch Celebi and Shiny Hunt for it. Ugh. They should have done... I guess Celebi... I would have done Mew. Maybe Deoxys. Jirachi for Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Unless they're making Emerald its own separate thing, which is completely stupid and garbage. That'd be asking someone to pay $40 just to get 2 shiny Pokemon, basically. That's not cool. I could totally see them doing that, though. Shiny Jirachi if you complete the Pokedex in Ruby, Sapphire, and then Shiny Deoxys if you complete the Pokedex in Emerald. They still haven't... Yeah, there's no shiny Mew. Which is weird, too. And, you know, that's the Kanto region. But whatever, I guess. And then... No, wait. BDSP did not have Celebi. It had Jirachi and Mew. From the old people, right? Yeah. This does not... require you to deposit the Pokemon into home, but rather Pokemon Home will read the Pokedex and adjust it alongside this. Oh! That's so much better. Please update that to work with all the games on the Switch and Switch 2. Please! You have no idea how annoying that is. It's so damn annoying. Oh my god, that's a godsend. It's an Arceus send. Why hasn't that been available since the beginning of all this? Ugh. So that's better, I guess. Oh my god. And then, well, at the same time, I guess it's fair since you don't lose. Then you won't lose your complete dexes in Fire Red Leaf Green. But it's like, man, I hope that's coming to the other games. They better. It's just, oh my god. The live. And I hope that also counts for. Well, obviously you can't transfer. But into those games. But like, I had a complete live dex back in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and I've been so annoyed about collecting and completing live dexes for all the games on the Switch because I'm like, I have like 50 Pikachus and I don't need them, including all the Ash Hat ones from the Gen 6 and 7 events. My god. How many Charizards do I need? How many Solgaleos and Reshirams do I need? Just please. How many Dialgas, etc. Alongside this update, Pokemon will be able to send from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home if they're... Pokemon will be able to send from Pokemon Go to... If they're in Go Safari... Oh, okay. I was like, that was already a thing. What are you talking about? These Pokemon will then change Ball to being in Strange Balls and then can be deposited into Pokemon Legends ZA and Pokemon Home. That's... Why wouldn't you just turn them into Safari Balls, which are in Fire Red Leaf Green? Why wouldn't they just be normal Safari Balls? That doesn't make sense, but whatever. It devalues... It devalues them. That's weird. Why? Pokemon Home will allow for 3,000 more Pokemon to be deposited if you have a premium... God, friggin'. A premium subscription. Of course they are. This is stupid. This is just so scummy and disgusting. I hate it. This is one of the reasons why I got asked a question recently if I wanted to get a brand new TV for my birthday. Oh, and you win a new TV! Or do I want the Switch 2, especially since they're hiking the prices up on the games and the Switch 2 itself? And just so many of their bad decisions, even with the Switch 1's life. It's just... I question if I want to be a Nintendo fan anymore. I really do, just because there's just been so many bad choices made. So many greedy, scummy choices with the online paid services, the DLCs all over the place. I don't completely hate DLCs, but like it needs to be warranted. When you hear that, oh, there's already plans for DLC in this or that game, it doesn't feel warranted. Like, DLC should be an afterthought. It should be like, we want to do this for the fans. It shouldn't be, oh, well, they did that with ZA, and it was revealed back in Swish that there was DLC before, like, they plan it ahead of time, and that's just disgusting. Like... In games like Shovel Knight or The Witcher 3, Skyrim, it's because fans love the game and they wanted to do more for the fans. It was an afterthought. They're like, you know what, sure, we'll do it. And then in Shovel Knight's case, the creators were like, if you already own the game, you get all the DLC free. Since the DLC hadn't been announced yet, they're like, yeah, we'll be cool with you. It's like, there's just been so many greedy, bad decisions, and I just... Maybe I'm sounding too much like an old man. I don't know. And I don't want to hate on them. Nintendo helped create my childhood with Pokemon, Mario. I know I'm more of a Sonic fan, but I grew up with Mario 2 almost as much, just as much. Mario 3, Mario 1, Mario World. Mario 2 was the first game I ever owned next to Mario Super Circuit and Game & Gallery Watch 4, whatever it's called. Those were my first 3 games that I got for my 5th birthday, I believe, on the Game Boy Advance, which was my first console that I got for my birthday from my dad. He gave me that and those 3 games. Kirby, Fire Emblem. I really got into Fire Emblem in my teens. There's so many good games with Nintendo, but like, I just hate all the decisions they've made as of late, and it just doesn't feel like they care about their fans anymore. It feels too much like a money-making scheme, and it arguably feels, even though they're more expensive, including the online subscriptions for Xbox and PlayStation, and all the other various things that those companies have done, it's just... it feels more disgusting and worse. Maybe it's because Nintendo's a child-friendly company. They cater to children, right? Like Xbox, oh, there's Halo, and was always mature, and you got God of War on PlayStation. Those were their big hitters, right? You got Mario over here, woohoo, and then you got Kratos and Master Chief, guns and hammers and all sorts of stuff, right? But like, you're asking kids with no money to pay for this stuff. They get their money from their parents. Or you're asking adults that have grown up on your games and consoles for generations. It just feels more disgusting and like they're taking advantage of their fans more. And like, you don't have to get online subscriptions with Xbox or PlayStation. You don't have to. It's an option, and sometimes you'll get free games out of it. Some of their games, Sea of Thieves, is blocked behind the stupid paid service, so that sucks, but like, for the most part, it's optional. But like, you can't even buy a lot of these games in the eShop. Again, Gale of Darkness. Wario Land 4 is one of my favorite games of all time, and it's behind a $50 paywall on their premium Nintendo Switch Online subscription, because all Game Boy Advance games are. Rather than being in the eShop like I had on my Wii U, which could have been transferred to the Switch if they had cloud saving. I have those games bought on my Wii U. I have Mario 1, 3, 2, World, Galaxy, which was an accident. I meant to buy Galaxy 2 when the Wii U was dying, and then I bought the wrong one. I'm like, I already have Galaxy. Damn it, I didn't want to. Ugh, that was annoying. I was wanting to bash my head into a wall that day. Ugh, Kid Icarus Uprising I missed out on. There are so many ways they could have just avoided all these problems, and they just didn't, and it feels like they don't care. And maybe it is just me. Maybe they are doing better deals than Xbox and PlayStation, but it feels more wrong and disgusting because they're the child-friendly company and have built childhoods for so many people. It just feels more disgusting, but I mean, you don't have to get the $50 one, I guess. And the 20, 25, however many the base one is, it's okay, but like, it's cheaper, definitely, so you can play Mario Kart or Pokemon games online, but it's like, it doesn't need to be there at all. I so want to mention that too, but I don't want to run his name through. I don't want to drag that name through the mud because he was a gamer. He tried to avoid these sorts of situations. He tried to pivot Nintendo away from these decisions. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That's wrong. That's wrong. It's scummy. It's wrong of me. I'd be as bad as the big corporations. And it's just... And I mean, to be fair, I'm sure a large part of it is... It's a Japanese company, and they have different philosophies and various other things. I watched a video recently about how most Japanese people hate emulation because it takes away from big companies, just like the companies voice their opinions on. And I mean, it makes sense. It's a cultural difference thing, and that's fair. But like, it's just at the same time, like, there's so many better ways that this could have been handled. There's so many other ways. There's at least 2 different ways they could have handled this. 3 if we want to count they just leave bank open. Who's it hurting? What's wrong with keeping it open? I suppose it's costing them money. That's probably what it is. But, like, I'm willing to bet, again, if a fan went out of their way and did this, they could find a free way to do it that isn't going to cost them money. It just sucks. And I'm sorry if I'm bringing the mood down and people are not agreeing with me on this, and especially because I like to be all cheery and happy in videos. I like to make people smile and laugh, and I like to bring joy to the world, but like this, I don't like to do these kinds of videos, but at the same time, people need to be informed, and I want to let my thoughts out into the world for people to know, especially when, again, this could have been avoided. This could have been avoided on so many levels. There's probably many that I'm not even thinking of because I'm not a technical whiz. I don't know this kind of stuff to a great degree. But I should probably cut myself off. I think I've said everything I want to. I don't want to be on repeat and waste everyone's time, so sorry this isn't the typical video, but spread the word, spread the news. Pokemon Bank is dying. I'm going to have to pay for Home for a month so I can transfer everything. I've been putting off shiny. I knew this would happen too, damn it. I've been putting off shiny hunting in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which has the easiest shiny hunting method in the entire franchise. Well, okay, Legends Arceus is pretty good. ZA is, I'm not sure. But the Magikarp method's pretty high up there. And I've been putting it in the SOS battle. Ugh. There's so many ways to shiny hunt that are so good in Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon. And this means that all the Pokemon I caught and shiny hunted in red, blue, green, yellow, in red, yellow, silver, and crystal. Those are the specific ones I got. All those won't be able to... They'll be trapped on my 3DS forever, too. This is crap. This sucks so much. Anyways, sorry. Spread the news. Spread the news. I'll have to transfer as much as I possibly can, especially my main teams. I'm gonna want to get my Charizard, Blaze, and Volcano, my Typhlosions, Razor, my Sceptile, all those old friends. I'm gonna want to transfer them to the modern games, I guess. Since, unless I don't get a Switch too, and then... I'm so conflicted. I don't know what to do or how to feel. And just... God damn it. Alright. Put off shiny hunting for so long because I kept hoping there'd be a safety net there for me to go back whenever I wanted to, but at the same time I knew that this was probably an inevitability, which is unfortunate, but those are my thoughts for now. That's all the thoughts. I'm sorry if I'm repeating, just sort of wrapping up, but anyways, thank you so much for watching. Look forward to me playing the other games. Either we'll be starting with Red and Silver sometime soon, or one or the other. I'm not sure which, as of right now. I mean, I'm leaning on one, but yeah. And then, that's the polls up right now. Coliseum or Gale of Darkness are happening relatively soon, too. I thought about saving one of them for RPG month, but maybe I need to do them back to back so I can transfer from those games into... Ugh. Yeah. That's all for now! Let me know... You know what? Let me know your favorite games. If you're an older fan, which were your favorite games? And which were the ones that got you into the franchise? I got my start by borrowing Crystal from my stepbrother at the time, who was my best friend. And then I got Silver for myself And that was my first Pokemon experience. And then I backtracked to Red version, and then I skipped Gen 3. And then I went to Diamond, and then I backtracked to Emerald and Fire Red. I still haven't played Ruby and Sapphire to this day. And then, yeah, it was all straightforward after that. Platinum, Soul Silver, Black, White 2. 'Cause even though Black 2 is supposed to be the next one, I loved Reshiram, so I wanted both of those, etc. And then my favorite games in the franchise were probably Black, White 2. In terms of the story and stuff, but I'm not gonna lie, I got the nostalgia goggles. I will always say that Silver and Crystal are my favorite games. Even more than their remake Soul Silver, just because I love the chiptune music. And hey! Don't say, but you get the one key item. That's not until, like, post-game. That's after you've beaten the entire game. If they gave it to you right off the bat, then sure, okay. But yeah, it's like after you get the Pokedex completed, or you get to the Hall of Fame and beat Red, one of those two. It's a big momentous thing within the game. It's like, at that point I've beaten everything. What's the point? I wonder if when I emulate, I could do that. I wonder if someone's got something that could allow for that to happen early game. That'd be cool and fun. I'd love that. But yeah, so yeah, that's part of the reason why I don't know which to start with. Do I start with Red, or do I start with Silver? If I do Silver, then it's probably just going to be a generic video. But at the same time, I had some fun ideas if I started with Red and did a sort of headcanon route. But yeah, that'll be happening soon. Coliseum Gale of Darkness will be happening soon. ZA continuation will be happening soon. Lots of Pokemon things being the 30th anniversary. Hey, okay, you know what? To be fair to them, at least they're keeping it alive through the 30th anniversary. Bank will die on the 31st anniversary, I guess. Something, I guess. But yeah, this better mean that they're... You know, again, they should take the... One more thing. They should take the Nintendo ID and have games that are registered to it. And then if you... I get reselling them. Putting red, blue, green, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, ruby, sapphire, emerald, diamond, pearl, platinum. All of the old games. Putting them on the Switch 1 and Switch 2's eShop. But if you have the game saved to your Nintendo ID, you still have to restart probably. Brand new save files, all that stuff, start from scratch. But it would be cool if they gave the games free to you if you already own the game and they were somehow registered on your Nintendo ID. I'm sure there'd be a lot of hackers and stuff breaking the system and ruining that for everyone. But that's one more alternative that they could do to avoid this problem. Obviously, some of the cartridge ones, it'd be a little difficult. Yeah, again, it'd be the DS era games that you wouldn't be able to save. You'd have to rebuy them, unfortunately. Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black, White, Black 2, and White 2. Unfortunately, you probably need to rebuy those because there's no way to save those on the Nintendo ID. But anything that was in the 3DS era, anything that's another angle that they could do this with. They could do this with. And you know what? It'd suck, but I'd be fine with that too. I'd still be fine with that. But yeah, I definitely want to transfer all my old friends. So yeah, anyways, sorry, I keep thinking of things. Alright, for real this time. Thank you so much for watching. In spite of this bad news, I hope you have a lovely day and evening. And until next time, whatever it is I may do, Pokemon related or otherwise, I hope to see you then. And until then, farewell! Pokemon